Hello, my name is Jim. This is my first attempt at making a YouTube video, and the purpose of making it is to talk to those of you who, like myself, suffer from depression, and not only suffer from depression, but to the point of coming close to killing yourself, whether you've made an attempt or you're about to. I really want to just share my experience with it, and kind of last night I had a bit of an insight to a tool that's going to keep me alive today, which is really for some people in the hard cases when people are about to kill themselves. That's what it's all about, is one more day. Just staying alive, one more day. That's all you can think about. Um, I'm going to back up first and just tell you about how depression has affected me specifically, and in my case, because for everyone it's different. In my case, it started 12 years ago. I was someone who was very outgoing, had a very successful career here in Japan, making great money, a lot of friends. My friends would describe me as being caring, fun, compassionate, kind. I was a very loved person. And then in 2005, 12 years ago, depression knocked me on my ass and took my life away. Now, my life is spent as it has been, with exceptions. I've had some good days, but for the majority of the past 12 years, I've spent in my bedroom, hiding under a pillow. The thoughts in my head are so intense and so strong that the only thing I can do, sleep is the only escape. But you can only sleep so much. Your body won't let you sleep more than, I'm pretty good at 15 hours. I don't know about you guys who experience it the same way as I do, but somewhere in that range. I sleep a lot because that's the only time that the brain shuts off and gives me a break. But then the times where you just can't sleep is pure hell. I have all-encompassing conversations in my head about what, at the core of my being, what a terrible person I am, how horrible I am, how much I hate myself, how much I hate, and it gets spread externally as well. It goes out into the world, how much I hate Japan, how much I hate this food here, how much and I want you to hear this the right way, how much I hate my wife and kids. I do not hate my wife and kids. I love them more than anything. But depression does that. It tricks me sometimes into believing that it's true. The hate, the pain, the anxiety, all day. I give it a score of 95 to 5. 95% of the time, I'm trapped and I'm in that. And it's heavy and it's all encompassing. And then 5% of my day, I can have a bowl of cereal or sit with my kids for a bit. But for those of you who are at the point that I'm at, where you literally are considering suicide, I just want to talk to you for a second specifically. Um, for me, I have my kids. I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And I do not want them growing up having to tell their friends, or having to tell themselves that their dad killed himself. I can't imagine what that would be like for a kid. So I don't want them to have that kind of life. I love them so much. And my wife as well. She's on the same level. I asked her the other day, it's going to sound like a stupid question, but I was caught in the depression. Do you want me to? Wouldn't it be easier for you if you didn't have to take care of me, do all my laundry, clean for me, take care of the kids on your own all day with no help from me? And she said she would never forgive herself. It would be a terrible, terrible thing to do to her as well. So there's my love for my wife and my kids is extremely high, very powerful. And my desire to kill myself is that high. It's the same. That's how powerful the conversation of suicide is in my head. If I've got my plan, I know how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to. So don't cut this video off YouTube because this is someone telling they're going to kill themselves. That's not what this is about. I'm strong enough to say I'm not going to do it today. I can say today. But the level of thoughts of suicide for me are that powerful. The idea of sitting on a cliff, for example, and jumping, that's not a terrifying thought for me. That's freedom. That's finally an escape from the all-encompassing, all the devastating conversations and the pressure and the hate that goes on in my head all day for 12 years. That's an escape. I can finally get away from that. That's a very, very powerful conversation. And that's what has me on the edge, is I can't escape it. It's there and there's no escape. So 5 weeks ago I started therapy. I've had therapists for years and years and years, but I started a new therapist. His name is Matty, and I'm going to put his link in the description of this video. He's based out of Vancouver in Canada. I'm Canadian. He gave me this analogy that depression is like a rock, and you're trapped inside this thick, strong rock, and you're inside of it. Nothing can get in, nothing can get out. You're completely isolated. And that's the key word for me, is isolation. Isolation has to be depression's most powerful tool. And I don't necessarily mean isolation in the sense of, like, for me, isolation means staying in my bedroom all day and seeing no one. That's my isolation. For you, it might mean going to work every day, but being isolated, even with people around you, or going even to a hockey game, having thousands of people there, but you're still completely isolated and cut off and alone. Isolation can take many forms, but that is depression's most powerful tool. And the way Maddie put it was, if for an abusive relationship, which my mom was in, who just recently passed away, she was in an abusive relationship, not physically, but emotionally. He was emotionally abusive. And what the abuser does is, first of all, will attempt to isolate you. So he'll cut off your friends, or she. He'll cut off your friends and cut off your family so you don't see them anymore, or as little as possible, so that he is your main focus. And all the negative, abusive comments that he makes to you, you have no reality check. It's completely him. He becomes your world. And you start to believe what he's saying. You're worthless. You're, terrible, terrible messages that you begin to believe, and your self-worth goes down and down. And my mom was living there. Thank God she left him. But she managed to, with the help of some wonderful friends. But that's depression. It isolates you. And so I'm trapped in this rock where the conversations that I'm having cannot be stopped. They have complete control of me. And the way Maddie put it was, all you can do is take small chips out of that rock day by day. He didn't say this part, but for me, I don't see depression ending tomorrow. Maybe it will. That would be fantastic. I've heard stories of it happening for people, where one day they wake up and it's gone. It happens. I'm not looking at it that way, though. I don't have that expectation. For me, I get the feeling it's going to take a long time and a lot of hard work at taking small chips out of the rock. And the way you do that is, for example, this morning, I went downstairs and played with my kids for about a half an hour. I didn't want to, and it was hard work, but I was able to. Some days you can't do any chips out of the rock. You just can't. You got to be in bed all day. It's that bad. But I was able to this morning, and I took a chip out of the rock. I don't know how big. And every day I'm looking for opportunities. Go for a walk around the block, instead of hiding in my bed. Maybe watch a movie even. For me, that's taking a chip out of the rock. Any option other than hiding in my bed would be taking a chip out of the rock, doing something I enjoy. I don't really enjoy anything. Those of you who are in my headspace know what I mean. But last night, I had this thought, and I'm speaking to those of you who are thinking of killing yourself today. Last night, I had this thought that depression hates eye contact. And let me explain what I mean by that. For me, it's, again, those conversations in my head. You're a piece of shit. You don't deserve to live. I just had the thought, who's saying that? Because that's not me. I remember when I was living my life, and when I was alive, and when I was a good person. I do remember that, and I'm hoping that this resonates with some of you, where you can actually remember a moment in your life where you actually were living, you were alive, you had something, and it got taken away by depression. So that whole conversation that's happening for me now of you don't deserve to live, you're a terrible human being, that's not me talking. And I ask myself, who's saying that? And that's giving eye contact to depression. That's looking it in the eye. It's separating yourself a little bit, taking a step back and saying, who just said that? And that shut that voice off for about 5 seconds. The voice just kind of was gone for 5 seconds. And then it all kicks back in. But somehow this seems to be key. This is an important discovery for me. It's going to keep me alive today. I know it is. And tomorrow as well is the plan. Every day, chips at the rock, chips at the rock. Just don't kill yourself today. Do what you can to stay alive. And realize what an incredible disease this is that you have. It's not you, it's a disease. It's like cancer. And I know I got to be careful when I say that. Cancer is a terrible disease. Kills so many people so quickly, ruins so many families. Not ruins, but destroys the hearts of so many families. Cancer is horrible. I'm saying depression is similar in the sense that it kills so many people. The stat that I read this morning was it is the second leading cause of death in the world between the ages of 15 and 27. The second leading cause of death is by suicide. This depression kills that many people in the world. 800,000 people died last year, 2016, through depression. That's just huge. Such a powerful disease. And it is a disease. The chemicals in your brain are not balanced. You don't have the tools. I don't have the tools to question this automatic thinking of hate that's happening. I don't have enough tools yet to combat it. Right now, it is the abuser. It has me completely isolated and believing that I'm worth nothing. And not only that I'm worth nothing, that it's just, it hurts. My brain is exhausted all day. I sleep 15 hours a day, easy, because that's the only time these conversations shut off. I wish I could sleep more to shut it off, but I can't. My brain just won't sleep that much. I don't know if I sleep 15. I don't know if that's an accurate number, but it's a lot. I sleep because that's the only break I get. And I've been doing that for 12 years. 12 years of my life gone. So that's why I'm making this video, is for those of you who are in the severe state like myself. Don't do it today. Hear what I'm saying, man. It's not you. It's a disease. It's got control of you. Very much control of you. It's very deep. And you need to get on the medication. I'm on the medication. I've been on many medications. I'm still not a full believer in medication, but I'm not educated. I'll admit it. But the counseling seems to be even more of a strong effect than medication. I've been through ECT. I've had 3 sessions of ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. One of them was 23 sessions. I did 23 in a row, twice a week for a couple months. That's how desperate I am to stay alive. But through the therapy that I've had with Maddie over the past 5 weeks, I've had some pretty major breakthroughs. I've done some pretty incredible things that would sound like nothing to the majority of the people probably watching this. For example, going for a walk around the block. Huge. Huge for someone like me and someone in my position. That's a massive chip out of the block, out of the rock. I've been able to do that. So to those of you who are severe, just don't do it today. Give yourself another day. Keep putting it off. It's a disease. It's way stronger than you right now. But there are tools that you can get. Find yourself the right counselor. Get on the medications. Get some help. You cannot do it on your own. Another huge thing I've done in the past few weeks is reached out to some old friends. I haven't done this in 12 years, but my counselor suggested it. I've reached out to some old friends and made contact with them and shared my heart with them on what my life's been like for the past 12 years. Cried my ass off with them. And wow, the healing that happens through sharing what you're going through with someone. Even if you can do it with one person, find that one person and cry with them. Tell them how much pain you're in, how much you want to die, how strong it is. Just bear it, let it all out. Tell someone. If you don't have anyone, call the crisis line. I've done it many times. They probably know my voice by now. Call the crisis line and talk to them. They're trained. It's even better is talk to someone who's suicidal if you can. That's my personal preference. Talk to someone who knows what it's like and who has certain tools like me. Use me. Send me a message. Let's talk. Hell, let's Skype. I don't care. I'll Skype with you. And let's talk it through. Let's go through it together. I don't know how I'm going to get through tomorrow. This is hell, but I'm gonna. So that's this video for today. Again, leave me some messages and stay alive. Thank you, everyone.